Another month, another Bokksu, Japanese snack box for those unaffiliated or new to this. And this month's entry is the Art Island Escape. And I've also included the thank you card rather than having it as an a secondary slide. So this month seems to be about islands around Japan and the snacks that define them. So I'm very curious to see how this one's going to go. Let's learn some Japanese. Shima is island, Geijutsu, art, Umibe, seaside, and Keishiki is view. The Bokksu comes with a culture guide, which feature 4 different pictures and bits of trivia about the theme. So here is page 1. And here is the second page of the culture guide for this month. And here's my lunch for today. All of this, if it's any good. Anyway, so if you're new to this, I go tea first, and then each snack one by one, and I post the pictures of them before, in the packaging, and after when I eat them, and try to give my honest opinions as quickly as possible. So let's see how we do this month. We start off with the black sesame latte. I'm not used to sesame tea, and I'm not used to lattes, so this should be interesting, hopefully in a good way. I gotta say that this one surprised me, because the latte gave it a kind of a rich nut flavor, but nothing overpowering, and the flavor was more like chocolate, or hot chocolate, as opposed to tea. So this was a good change of pace from all the kind of nutty and rooty and kind of roasted teas I tend to get. The Shima Sugata peanut cookie. So peanut cookie and not much else from the description, so curious how that's gonna go. It was exactly what it was, a peanut cookie. So not a lot of sugar, pretty hard, but not like teeth crunching, just hard enough. And yeah, very nuts. A lot of very nuts, but good nuts. Negi miso senbei. So a senbei rice cracker with some scallions and miso. Sounds like a hearty meal in and of itself. Pretty heavy soy, just very heavy soy because of the miso. Very heavy scallion stuff. The senbei is very thick, but, you know, you get what's on the tin. So if you like those flavors, you like them. If you don't, you don't. The Naruto Longe de Cha. So a Longe de Cha cookie with probably an orange filling. See how this one is. Orange doesn't usually show up in cookies much, so I'm intrigued. Pretty subtle flavor on this one. The orange was more in the cookies than it was in the cream. The cream felt more like a vanilla, but, you know, it got that kind of sort of dreamsicle-ish feel to it. The cookies itself were a nice consistency, slightly heftier than a sugar cookie, but overall, really solid one. Handmade Kyoyuzen candy. Can't say I've ever had this style before, so even as long as I've been doing this, I can always be surprised. Probably could have gotten a little better look at this one, but these ones feel like Jolly Ranchers if they were pre-cut to about 1/3 or 1/4 the size. Way easier to eat in that sense. Probably not the one I would go for munching on now. Jolly Ranchers and other hard candies you gotta want them. But the flavors on these are pretty nice, but beware of the sugar on this one. Yokohama cheese sandwich cookie. Pretty curious what kind of cheese they're going for. If it's going to be a creamy, cheese whiz, a block of cheese. It's going to be like one of those cheese cracker things that I get at other places. Who knows, but I'm curious. Gotta say, when I saw the word cheese, this is not what I was expecting, but in a good way. Almost all of the cheese flavor is like swamped by enough sweet that you don't even taste any like salt until a very slight aftertaste. This is a sweet cookie with a cream that's almost like milk, just like cheese, but I was expecting something way saltier and savourier than what I got, and I think this was a good one. The Olive no Hume cookie, chocolate chip flavor. So a chocolate chip cookie with some sugar and an olive oil. I don't know if that's going to mean that the olive is going to have an aftertaste to it, but we'll see. Can't say I was a big fan of this one. There's not enough sweetness to counteract the olive aftertaste, which is very intense as soon as you bite into it. Even when you start smelling it, the olive is there. Shimabari Gonomi curry bean flavor. Deep fried beans with curry. Let's see how this one goes. Had a little trouble placing the consistency of this one, like a hollower peanut or corn nut, or a thicker sunflower seed kind of consistency with the curry in the spice. Pretty good. I think if the curry was a little bit more intense, I probably would have liked this one more. Fried potato, nagisa carpaccio, scallops, lemon, and some other spices, including chili spice with the sweet potato. Quite different, if you ask me. This one's a bit on the funkier side of the spectrum. This one has a bit of an awkward feel aftertaste. The scallops and the lemon and the chilies don't exactly work with the sweet potato all I'd like. I've had funkier ones, but this one, it's slight and awkward would be the best way I would describe it. Miyazaki King Kong Gummy. Not sure I've ever had kumquat before, but right up it looks kind of between a lemon and an orange. We'll see if that holds true. Pretty subtle texture and sweetness until you get kind of a chewy, bursty aftertaste of the kumquat. Not my best fruit flavor, but I liked it for a first time. Setochi Lemon Mochi. So my hope is it's a little bit more sour and a bit more pop than the last one, the kumquat was. And it ended up being about the same as the kumquat. So a lot more sugar, a lot less tartness and sourness, which is what I was kind of hoping for. And yeah, just a bit disappointing. Hana Okaki rice cracker. I'm expecting something pretty straightforward. A soy sauce rice cracker. I'm reminded of something a wrestling podcaster I like mentions all the time. He says, just because it's predictable does not mean it's bad or good. If something's predictable, you know what you're getting. That's case in point with this. If you've ever had a soy sauce rice cracker, you know what you're getting with this. Nothing out of the ordinary. And in a month is kind of, as this one, this is actually a good thing. Time for my final four, which I usually go from what I think is the best, or what I think is going to be the worst, to the best one. So I'm going to start with the Kinpaku Shibafune Ginger Cookie. Ginger is a lot like some of the other ones where I just don't have a high opinion of it. Being a sweet cookie might change my opinion on it. We'll see. This is one of those times I'm happy when things don't have the hefty flavor in them. The ginger is subtle and it's hidden behind a lot of sugar. The consistency of the cookie is very fortune cookie-esque. And they give you a second one on top of that. You can see how big of a cookie the first one already was. So this one was a good one. The Kanase or Kanase Gorojima Kintoki Sweet Potato Cake. So a little bit heftier than the potato stuff from earlier. We'll see how this one tastes. This one might end up being my favorite. It's a banana nut bread or coffee cake, but with sweet potato, and it works so well. The only other thing so far that has been as good was the cheese cookie. So if this box is going to turn around, it's definitely doing a good job so far. Chocolate azuki beans with uji matcha. So Azuki red beans, white chocolate, and matcha. A lot of those things sound good to me. A little on the messy side with the matcha paste, but the white bean paste or the white chocolate, the Azuki beans, the matcha flavor all work really well. A little bit crumbly, but the dipped chocolate flavor is really good, and I like this one. Today's final entry is the Sweet Mermaid Cake. I saved this one for last because it was kind of the heaviest one of the final two, and it's filled with white bean paste. So should offer a different kind of consistency to the things that we've had so far, and hopefully we end this one on a high note, which is what we've been getting, so hopefully it stays that way. And we finish up with basically a Twinkie with a different kind of clear filling, like a jelly donut, but a bean paste instead. Pretty good compared to some of these ones that don't have any filling at all. This one had just the right amount, which was a lot. But as far as this month, it was kind of slow, kind of here and there. But the last few that I ended up picking ended up being really good. I would say the winners were the sweet potato cake and the cheese cookie. So, not the best month, but that's not always going to be the case. Somewhat average would be the list that I would give it, but again, there's still some good ones near the end, and that's what I shoot for with things like this. For everything that gets bad, there's like 4 or 5 things that are like top notch. You know, the good stuff heavily outweighs the bad, and if you haven't tried these things before, I would really recommend it. I use Bokksu, but Sakura Co, Tokyo Treat, whatnot, those boxes all work. For Bokksu, it's $40 to $50 a month, depending on the subscriptions that you do, of like a month to 3 months to 6 to 12. I use the monthly, and I haven't been disappointed. I'm going on past 4 years now of doing this, and hope you guys have enjoyed this kind of stuff and keep wanting to stick around for more of it each month. But that'll do it for me, and I'll see you guys next time.